Hi folks, this is Kramer from IT Visualizer channel. Today we will continue our Lambda transformers. This is the video number 37. We have been discussing before in the previous video how to install the Wsus, which is abbreviation of Windows Server Update Services. This service is its main function or its main function is to distribute Microsoft Windows updates to all of your workstations and servers in your domain. This is a centralized location that stores all of the Microsoft Windows updates. You define when you configure the Wsus, you tell him to get certain updates for Windows products, like for example if you have Windows 10 for your workstations and Windows Server for your domains or servers, you tell the Wsus to download these updates, and then you begin distributing it to your workstations and servers. Okay, this is very good when you want to when you want your servers and workstation to have a central location to get all of its update, because if this service is not installed, then every workstation and every server will get to the internet and get the updates by itself. So this will make bandwidth consumption, and this also takes the same update will be repeatedly installed and downloaded. For example, if you have 10 workstations that have Windows 10, everyone will download and install the same updates. So this means the same updates are then installed and downloaded again and again and again. So this means consumption of bandwidth and repeatedly installing the same updates, which means also consumption of hard disk space, and also which means also that you are downloading the same updates, which it's a loss of let's say a loss of maybe you will not need to install the same updates again and again and again, and every workstation and server will do the update by itself. Okay, so now we will in the previous video have installed this Wsus server role to make this updates downloaded in a central location and then distributed to all of your servers and workstations. Okay, we can see here what we have done in the previous video, that we have the first domain controller. We have installed the Wsus on it and configure it to get the updates from the Microsoft website. We have Windows 10 and Windows Server 2019 on our domain infrastructure, and through the GPO we have told all of our workstations and servers to go to the Wsus, which is name is the name that we have discussed before, and the IP address. Okay, so all of the workstations will now redirect, or when it needs updates, it will get it from the Wsus. Okay, and also we have discussed this is the graph, and also we have discussed previously in the video, after installing the Wsus server role, this is the Wsus. Wsus groups computers by names. Okay, so here after installing the Wsus, we have grouped our computers in 4 groups: combo bots and robobots, or combo bots and robots. These are workstations that workstation computer groups that contains all of our workstations, and they all have Windows 10 LTSC 2019 installed in it. We will put all of our computers or workstations, specifically workstation, in these groups, because when in this graph, when the workstation knows through the group policy that whenever it needs update it should talk to the Wsus, the first thing to do that the workstation will talk, after getting the IP address and the name of the Wsus server, it will talk to the Wsus server, and then it will register itself with the Wsus. Okay, all of this, all the computers and server will register themselves in the Wsus under a computer group called unassigned computers. Okay, let's make it a little quicker. So please return to my previous video to see what you have done in the previous video. As I said before, the workstations will register themselves with the Wsus under the group of computers named unassigned computers. Okay, after that we have created 4 computer groups: CompoBots, robots, and test and server bots. CompoBots and robots are 2 computer groups that we have created to put all of our workstations of the domain or of the Active Directory. All of them contains or have Windows 10 LTSC installed, 2010 installed on them. So we will put all of our workstations in these 2 groups. As I said before, when the Wsus when the client here, workstation, communicates to the Wsus, the first group it will be in, or it will be registered in this group, unassigned computers. We can after that change this the workstation group, computer group, from unassigned to CompoBots, robots, or test or server bots, any group we need. So here we will put all of our workstations in these 2 groups, CompoBots and robots. This will contain all of our workstations that have Windows 10 LTSC installed on them. We have created a group called test group. This group will contain some workstation samples, so we can test our updates on them before enrolling them to enrolling them to all of our workstations in the domain. Okay, and server bots, here is this computer group that will contain servers and domain controllers computers, and they have Windows Server 2019 installed on them. Okay, so the Wsus by default have the unassigned computers, and also there is another group called all computers okay. Okay, so by default when you install the Wsus, you have 2 computer groups created, or they are created by default, all computers and unassigned computers. When the computers or the workstations and the servers begin communicating with the Wsus, all of them are registered or will be under the group that is called unassigned computers. Okay, after the workstations and servers are in this group, you can after that change the membership of the workstations or servers from unassigned computers to any of the 4 groups that we have created. Every workstation or every server in its specific group or its recommended group. For example, the workstations will be in the CompoBots and robots, and the servers will be in the server bots. Okay, as for the test, we will have some workstations here in this group, so we can we have some workstations as a sample in this group, so we can test all of our updates before enrolling them on all of our workstations. So this will be a test group. Okay, so this is the 4 all of these groups are computer groups. This is how the Wsus verifies and classifies and categorize the computer objects. It categorizes computers in groups. Okay, so this is the 4 groups we have created, and there is 2 groups, all computers and unassigned computers. And also there is in the Wsus by default there is 4 update groups. Okay, they are named as follows: critical, security, or updates, and Wsus updates. This is how the Wsus classifies or categorize updates. They are categorized by critical. This is the most important updates. It should be installed without delay. This is critical updates. And then there is security updates, which is less important than critical, but it should also be installed. This are called security updates. And then all updates, this group contains both critical and security updates. This is a group that contains both updates. And then Wsus update, this is an update for the Wsus software or console. Okay, this is an update for the Wsus itself. Okay, in the previous video you have told or configured the Wsus to download updates for Windows 10 LTSC and Windows Server 2019 and also for Office 2019. Okay, so this is briefly we have done in the previous video, but this is also, this graph is to clarify what is happening. Okay, so as I said before, the workstations and servers will communicate with the Wsus. They will be put in the unassigned computers. Then we will check this group and see servers, we will put them in server bots, workstations we'll put them in combo bots and robots, and then we will put some workstations as a sample in the test group so we can test our updates. Okay, and as for the updates, okay, they are categorized as I said before with this type of categorization. After the Wsus, we told him to get Windows 10 updates and Windows Server 2019 updates and Office. All the updates are now in the database. We need to approve or decline them. Okay, after approving them or declining them, we will tell the Wsus, for example, for the approved updates, we need them, for example, to be installed on combo bots and robots. Okay, for example, if we have Windows 10 updates, they were downloaded in the Wsus database, and then we have approved them, we will tell him, for example, please install the Windows 10 updates on combo bots and robots, which contains our workstations that contain Windows 10 LTSC, and was after approving the Windows Server 2019 updates, please install them in the group that is called server bots, which contains our servers and domain controllers. Okay, so this is basically why we create computer groups and why we have update groups, so we can control which update groups is installed on which computer groups. It's something like categorizing and organizing our updates, how they are installed and to which computers they are installed, through controlling or through organizing computers and updates in groups. Okay, so this facilitates or makes us more controlling which group of updates are installed on which group of computers. Okay, so this is basically what we have done. In the previous video we have a problem. The Wsus have all of its activity and updates and approved updates and decline updates. All of this are recorded in a database which is called Windows Internal Database. Why it is recorded? So we can get reports. There is a utility or there is an option to make reports or to run reports or this database to get, for example, how much update I have for example approved in Windows for Windows Server 2019, for example, from 2 years or 3 years. This is good when we want to know if there is a problem with a certain update. We want to know which update specifically and when it was installed and when it was downloaded. So the Wsus database contains an option for reporting. Okay, in the previous video we have a problem with the report tool. The report tool needs something called Windows or it's called Microsoft Report Viewer 2012 to be installed. So this wasn't installed in the previous video, so we will install it so we can so we can be able to run reports on the Windows or Wsus database. So let's begin the video. Here we will go to the Google and then we will try to download. Please, for more info, please refer to my previous video. Okay, here we will install or download the Microsoft Report Viewer 2012 runtime, because this is the file that is needed to run reports, or so we can be able to view reports and run reports on the Wsus server. Here we download the file. It's MSI file. So now we need to install this MSI file so we can be able to run reports on Wsus. So here I will open the VM Workstation Pro and power on. Just a minute. We will power on the firewall pfSense so we can get to the internet. And then we will power on our first domain controller, which contains our Wsus server. So the firewall is up. It's now running, or it's booting, and it's loading the system. I think we can run it a little bit more quicker. Okay. So now we will go to we will power on the domain controller, the first domain controller. This is the one that contains our Wsus server that we have installed in the previous video. So now we have the our first domain controller up and running. We need to install the reports.msi so we can be able to run reports from the Wsus. I think I need to pass this also. Just a minute. Okay, this is the updates, but we don't need it. Okay, so now we will go and install the report.msi. I think it's paused. Now we go to the transformers, and then sorry, you can pass it quickly. Okay. So now we can install the MSI file. First we will copy the file. I think we can pass it quickly. Okay, here we will copy it, and then we will begin installing the report.msi. I said before, this file is critical. We need to install it so we can be able to run reports from the Wsus. Actually, when we install this file, it will tell us that I can't install the report viewer, okay, unless you have a couple of or another two files. We need to install them, but I will show you all the name of them and how we can get them also. Actually, this wasn't the issue before. I have installed numerous times the Wsus and didn't have this problem. I only need to install the report viewer, but this time I need to install the report viewer and I think something called SQL CRS. We will see that now. It's saying to us that it needs Microsoft System CLR type for SQL Server 2012. This is the file also that is missing. We need to download it and install it so we can be able to install the report viewer, which also will make us able to run the reports from the Wsus. So there is a missing file that we need to install to be able to see reports or to run reports on Wsus. Ironically, we have a missing file for the missing file. Okay, so here now we will go to the browser for the internet and we will begin searching or getting this file. It's CLR, not CTR. So I wasn't sure of the name, so I have run, or I have to run again the file so I can see the name clearly. Okay, we need the first one. So we will install or get the files. Here, this one, Microsoft SQL. I think we will go the first one, the first link. And then we will go to the download section, and then we don't need to download all of these files. We need only two files, which is SQL. We will get down, yes, SQL sys CLR types. We need to get these two files. Okay, we need to download these two files. These are the files that we need to install. So the report viewer will be installed so we can view the reports on the Wsus. Next. So we'll save the file and then install it. So now we go and install this file. Okay guys, this shared folder, this is a folder that it is shared between my laptop, okay, my laptop, the laptop that I am using, or the host operating system, and the guest operating system, which is this virtual machine. Okay, so now we will paste the file. So now we will install this file. So you can accept the license agreement and then next, and then install. So now it is installing the system, Microsoft System CLR. Okay, finished. So now we can install the report viewer. So now accept the license agreement, and then we install the report viewer. It will install with us successfully. So after that we can be able to run reports from the Wsus. So now we have finished. So after that we will test our Wsus. I have a workstation that is called HP Gen 8. Sorry, not this one. I have a workstation that's called HP 8100 PC Bot 1. We will see if this workstation will be able to see our Wsus, which is our Wsus server name, HP Gen 8 Server Bot 1. We will see if this workstation can see the Wsus and get updates from it. Actually, we will have a problem. Even though that the group policy is applied to this workstation, telling him was the IP of the Wsus and the name of the server, still it can't see, or it can't see this this Wsus server. This is a problem called, or can be solved by increasing the Wsus private pool. We will see how this we can solve it. Actually, this is why I increased the RAM of the server, because to solve this problem you need to increase the Wsus pool, Wsus private pool, which takes from the RAM. Actually, this process, why we do it, so we can make the server available for all of the workstations. Okay, because it's not enough to tell them, or not enough to tell the workstation with the group, through the group policy, with the IP of the server and the server Wsus and the name of the Wsus server. No, actually the server Wsus needs to be available, or needs to be something called the availability. So this availability is to increase the availability, or the it's named availability, or to be more visible to all of our workstations and server. We need to increase the Wsus private pool, which needs more RAM. Okay, so we see how this is done. Actually, I need to pass all of this because we don't need to see all of this. Okay, this is for the, we don't need it. Okay, this is the Wsus. We have some updates. I am thinking, okay, getting the, sorry, I am just powering on. I'll tell you why I'm doing this. I'm just decreasing the RAM because I will open this workstation, so I have only limited RAM. So I'm just decreasing 1 GB from this server and add it to the and actually also I will decrease from the firewall another 1 GB and another 1 GB from here, and then give it to the workstation so I can be able to run it efficiently. Okay, so here we will now power on the workstation, which is joined to the domain, and see if it will be able to see the Wsus server. As I said before, it will not see it, even though the group policy is pushed to it and saying to it or informing it with the Wsus IP and name, IP of the Wsus server and its name. Okay, so we'll just, okay, go. I just passing all of this. Here our domain controller is up and running, and here we are logging into our workstation. Okay, there is another trick. You can know if your group policy is applied to your workstation or not. Here I am assuming that I have, here in the previous video I have configured the group policy to push it to the workstation to tell them with the IP of the Wsus server and the name. This is done, but how we can know from inside the workstation or from our workstation, how we can know the group policy it is applied or not? We will see a registry key concerning Wsus in this workstation registry setting. We will see if this registry setting of the workstation contains the name and the IP of the Wsus server. Okay, but actually here the name of this this setting, actually I did it in a wrong way. Here I will show you what is the setting that we should see. Okay, if you need to know if your group policy is applied correctly for the Wsus, as I said before, we have installed the configured the group policy to tell the workstation and server with the IP and the name of our Wsus server. You can check this or to know if this group policy is applied through checking a registry key in the workstations and the server. This registry key will be as follows. Okay, just a minute. Here we can see it is here is the one. Just a minute, I need just to pause the video for a moment. Can you get for a moment here? Okay, here the registry key. Here we can see it's here, key, local machine, software, policies, Microsoft, Windows Update. In the Windows Update you can see a key, registry key, by the name of the server and the name of the IP, or sorry, the name of the Wsus server and the IP of it. Okay, we will see that now in a moment. But actually I did it, I was checking the wrong key, but this is the correct key. This will be more clearly. This will be more clearly in the next video, but this is the key that you need to check to see if the Wsus IP and name of the server is pushed to the workstations and servers. Okay, so we can go here. Just a minute. Okay, here is the registry key. Just a minute. We will go to the local machine and then through through software, then policies, then Microsoft. Okay, from software, and then policies. Okay, this is the wrong here, I have checked the wrong key. We need to go to policies and then Microsoft and then Windows and then Windows Update. So here I am checking the wrong key, so I am just checking the wrong key. So here another thing, sorry, I will just what I am doing here, as I said before, I was checking the wrong registry key. I will show you, I have showed you now how to check the right registry key, and here I was suspecting that my group policy wasn't pushed to the workstation. As I said before, this group policy contains the Wsus server name and the IP. So what I am doing, I'm just updating the group policy, or telling through the command line, I telling this workstation to check the Wsus group policy from the domain controller, to update this group policy, okay, from the domain controller, because I was suspecting that maybe the workstation didn't get the IP and the Wsus name from the group policy, okay, that I have created in the previous video. So I'm telling him, okay, you at the workstation, through a command prompt, please check or revise or return back to the domain controller and check the Wsus group policy to get the IP and the name of the Wsus server, okay, through a command called gp update/force. Here we'll click and then run, and then we will type gp update/force. This will force the workstation to go and check with the domain controller the Wsus group policy. This policy contains the IP and the name of the Wsus server, which will enable the workstation to communicate with the Wsus server and get the updates, okay. So here we will go a little bit further. Here I have already updated the group policy. So now here I am checking in the unassigned, as I said before, any computer when communicating with, for example, this computer or this workstation, when it communicates with the Wsus server, the first container or the group that it will appear in, it's the unassigned computers computer group, okay, as I said before in the previous video and in the graph. So I am just checking to see if the computer name, if this is successful, you will see in the unassigned computers the name of the workstation here, which is SP8100 PCBot1. It will appear here, but still it didn't appear. As I said before, this wasn't a problem of a group policy, this is a problem with the Wsus private pool. Before, this option or this option in the Wsus needs to be increased, so it will make the Wsus server more available, or to appear or to ease the communication between the workstation and the Wsus server, okay. This is called Wsus private pool. We will see how we can increase the RAM or the amount of RAM for this option, okay. Here we can see that we are trying to make an update. Sorry, just pause this. This is old updates, we will ignore it. This was before I installed the Wsus. This workstation has an internet connection and it got all of these updates from Microsoft website directly, not through the Wsus, okay. So we will just pass this. Okay, just a minute. Again, we can pass all of this. I will try to see if it appears again in the unassigned computers, but still it didn't appear. Also pass all of this. Check. Okay, no, leave all of this. Okay, leave all of this. Okay, also then we don't need all of this. Okay, all of this is not needed. Okay, I will go to the next video because this video is finished. It's number 26. Here we go. So I need to just close this. You can close this one also. Save. So we'll continue our lab here. We will open again. This is another new video I have, but let's go quickly on it. Okay, here let's go a little bit further. Okay, here in the workstation, as I said before, if you need to check to see if the workstation can see the Wsus server and IP, we need to check a registry key. I will show you here that I have showed you from a couple of minutes how to see this registry key, but we will see it in the video. Okay, here we will start. And then run to make sure that the group policy is applied and the workstation can see the name and the IP of the server, Wsus server. We will open software, and then we will open the policies, and then Microsoft, and then Windows. Okay, and then we will go to the Windows update. Okay, here we can see that our server name, here is the server Wsus server name, HSP Gen 8 servbot 1. Here we can see that it gets the name and the port of the Wsus. So that means that the group policy that we have created and configured the previous video, to push it to all of the workstations and servers, to let them know that if they need any update, they need to go to this server so it is applied correctly. Okay, so this is one of the troubleshooting steps. If you need to know if your workstation, why it didn't see your Wsus server or it can't communicate to the Wsus server, you need to check this registry key. And after that, another troubleshooting step is to increase the Wsus private pool. This is an option that it is tweaked, or to tweak the Wsus to make it more available to the workstations and servers. Okay, it is something, as I said before, like a Bluetooth option. When you want to transfer some file through the Bluetooth, you need to activate an option called make my phone visible. Okay, this is increasing the Wsus private pool. It's something like increasing the visibility of the Wsus server to all of our workstations and servers. Okay, so this private pool, mainly it takes from the RAM. Wsus private pool, it takes from the RAM. So you need to increase the Wsus private pool, which takes from the RAM, so you can make the workstations, especially Windows 10 and Windows 7 2019, to see the Wsus and communicate with it. Okay, so these two problems I have faced in my production environment. Some workstations can't see the Wsus, okay, even though the group policy is applied and the registry key is correct, but it is solved by increasing the Wsus private pool option. So it after increasing the pool, this problem disappeared from my domain or from my production environment. So I think I can pass this also. Can go there. Get notifications. Just a minute. Let's see. I don't need all of this. You can go right away. Just a minute. Also, this is not needed. Is not needed also. Okay, here another thing I need to discuss. Just a minute. Go there. Here, if you need to troubleshoot, for example, where if this workstation can't see the Wsus server, then you need to run another utility. You can run the troubleshooter, the Windows troubleshooter. Okay, it will do some steps. Here I am just opened the PC setting, start and then PC setting, and then go to the troubleshoot and then choose Windows Update, and then tell him run the troubleshooter. If you have a problem with the workstation can't see the Wsus server, you have three things to do. First, to check the registry key, and we have done this in a previous forum from a couple of minutes, and then to increase the Wsus private pool. We'll see this in a moment, and to run the troubleshooter of the Windows on the workstation or on the client. Okay, it will make a couple of things. It will restart some services and do some things. Okay, so it will make it or make the workstation able to see the Wsus server. Okay, so we need to run the troubleshooter if you have any problems with the Wsus or with the workstation can't see Wsus. Okay, you need actually to run this as a first step, and then check the registry key, and then at last to increase the Wsus private pool. Okay, so let's see this. I think I can pause it a little earlier quickly. Okay, just a minute. Okay, no. Okay, restarting. Okay, here, just a minute. Here I said before, as for the problem for this workstation, it can't communicate with the Wsus server, so we need to increase the Wsus private pool. So just a minute here. Said before, one of the main problems that have some administrators in their environment complain that their workstations can't see the Wsus server. So this is solved by increasing the Wsus private pool. How we can do this? We can open the here we can open the start, and then from the control panel, okay, and from the administrative source we will use something called IIS here. Okay, we will see here in this, we can see it from a couple, just a minute here. Okay, we will open internet again, just a minute, sorry, no, again we will open, okay, start administrative tools, and then we open internet information IIS. And then we will increase the Wsus private pool. Here we will open okay, we will open the application pool and then the Wsus pool. Okay, we will click on it, and then advanced setting, and then we will increase downside here, increase something called Wsus private pool here, private memory limit. Okay, you need to increase this one. Okay, here what does it say? Memory maximum amount of private memory is a worker process can consume before causing the application pool to recycle. A value of 0 means there is no limit. This is the one is responsible for making the Wsus available or increase the availability and the visibility of the Wsus server to all of our workstations and domain. I have encountered this in my production environment, so this is how we can solve it. Here it's giving it 1 gig. I think I will give it 3 gigs. Okay, so it make it more available for the workstations and the servers. Okay, so we'll do this. Sorry. So let's continue our lab. Here we will increase, as I said before, the private memory limit. This will make the Wsus server more available, or make the visibility and the availability for the Wsus server more for the workstations and the servers. And this is a common problem that happens for especially when you have Windows 10 workstations and servers 2019. Okay, this is a problem happens or appeared. I think this didn't appear with me when I was working with Windows 7, so this is basically a new problem, new type of problem, and this is how it is solved. So now we will increase the private memory limit. Here we can pass it real quickly. Sorry, I'm just okay, just 1 minute. Again, so here this is the private limit. It's 3 gigs, almost 3 gigs, and then we will try to see if we go to the workstation and try to see if it will see the Wsus, or it can communicate with the Wsus server. But actually still there is a problem, but I think it will be solved in the upcoming video. Here we'll tell him to recycling, okay, and tell him next. Okay, and then finish. So this is how we can solve the problem, through increasing the Wsus private Wsus pool private memory limit. So here now, if we can see that, we'll go again, and here I'm trying to see if it will see the Wsus. Okay, but still it's checking the updates, and I think it will not see it. Just a minute. Okay, here still the Wsus, I can see it in the unassigned computer, so here there is a problem. Still it didn't appear. It can say it can't connect. I think let's go a little bit further. Again, no. Still I'm trying to see if it will see the Wsus, but still I can't see it. So we'll go a little bit further. Sorry. Again, still I can't see it. So I went to the internet. I try for example here another troubleshooting step. You need to go to the event viewer, okay, for the workstation that is trying to connect to Wsus, and go to the event viewer and see the Wsus log. Okay, there is a log for the event. In the event log there is a section for the Windows update in the event log for every workstation and server, so we need to go there and check this event log to see the problem exactly. Just a minute, I will go there. Here you go. We will open the event log, and then we will open, just a minute, the event log, and then we will open Microsoft, okay, and then go to the Windows update. Here is the Windows update client. This is the section, or this is the event log you need when you are troubleshooting a problem when a workstation can't connect to the Wsus. You need to go to the event log under Microsoft, under Windows update clients. Here you need to see the logs. Okay, this is where the Wsus errors or Windows update errors are recorded. This is for workstations or for servers. So here, just a minute, here we can see that, just a minute, here is one of the errors. So here is the error. We will go to the internet and check this error number and see. There is a couple of suggestions. One of them is you need to see if there is a proxy server or not, and if the firewall is the problem. a lot of things, but actually in the upcoming video I will try to try them all. But first of all, I need to check another troubleshooting step. You need to go after, for example, you have tried the troubleshooter of Windows and didn't work, and you tried the Wsus private pool and it didn't work, private pool increasing, and it didn't succeed, and you checked or make a group policy update and also it didn't work. So I need to go to the event log and see the Windows Update error in details. As I said before, it's in the event log, and then Microsoft, and then Windows Update clients. You need to see this error in a specific, because these numbers have some it tells you exactly where is the error from. Okay, sometimes it's an error in the communication between the, maybe network communication between the workstation and the server, or maybe it's something, another thing, maybe some components in the Wsus or some components in the Windows updates is not correct from the client side. So here we will take this and check the internet. So here, just a minute, here we will check. I will go to the internet and check the error. So here I have found that maybe there is a problem with the proxy. You need to check if you have a proxy installed or there is a proxy setting on the workstation. If you remember with me when I was working with the pfSense firewall, I have already added a proxy option on the pfSense, and I have already changed it or open the browser in this workstation specific and tell it that there is a proxy server. So I think this is a problem. Maybe I need to uncheck the proxy setting on the workstation. Okay, we'll see this in the upcoming video, but this is some of the measure how to fix the problems. This is some recommendation. Okay, just a minute. I could go a little bit further. Here's something related to the proxy. I think this is the section, because I have already added a proxy server in one of my videos. I was working with pfSense as a proxy, and I added a proxy to this workstation in its internet options. So I think this is this is maybe the problem, that the workstation can't communicate with the Wsus server. And there is also some recommendation, but we will see this in the upcoming video. Okay, I will leave for you all this documentation. I will put it in the transformers folder, which will be in a Google Drive link under, or in the description section under the video. So until I see you all the upcoming video, hope this video was informative for you. I would like to thank you all for viewing. Thank you.